Just wanted to share more about the balance procedure and how it can support your mental health. So, I'm Liz Armand, the Mindset Shifter, and I have had lots of mental health issues in my life, to be perfectly honest. I think I was born with anxiety and I've had depression several times. And no more because I understand more about how this is working. Because I became a therapist over 10 years ago now. Although I was in power to Reiki actually about 20 years ago. And now I understand how my mind is working with the energy in my body. It's made a massive difference. Okay. And the balance procedure is a tool which you can use, which is a energy balancing tool, but it's also a non-verbal trauma release tool, which means you don't have to talk about what has happened to you in the past, which is often what's causing people to re-traumatize themselves by talking about different things that's going on. It does mean that you need to take responsibility for what's going on and actually make the shift and change yourself to make a change in your thought process, etc. It's not going to do it all for you. This is about you actually doing it to yourself, and it can feel a little bit challenging at times on certain things. However, it is a fantastic tool to support you going forward. So what does it look like? Well, it's purely a set of cards and a book. And that's how simple it is, okay? And it's actually been passed by NICE to use with children. And you can use a balance procedure on yourself, on your loved ones, whether that be children or elders. And so by using it on yourself and on others, you can make a massive difference with your mental health and their mental health. And I'm working a lot actually with parents who are using with their children, which is fantastic, because I'm also a teacher, and I love the fact that parents are taking control and dealing with their own stuff, but also helping their child have a better way forward as well. So the balance procedure is made up of these little cards that you balance yourself every day. So you wake up, use the cards for about 5-10 minutes. And then during the day, if something happens to you in that day where you don't feel as happy, you're feeling a bit more negative, you might feel, it might be angry or sad or disappointed, frustrated, whatever that negative emotion is, you would balance your cards again. It's actually balanced on your heart center. Okay, so the natural premise is that when we are in fear or we go, we put our hand here to balance ourselves naturally. And that is what the cards are focusing into. The research behind it is actually HeartMath. And if you go to heartmath.org, you will find information about how we behave, how that links to the stress response, and how you can shift and change different things. And some people go on to train in HeartMath as practitioners. But the balance procedure is doing that. It's a very simple tool for you to just purchase yourself and start using on yourself. I run training, as well as selling the book and the cards to people, because it's made a massive difference to myself. I've had lots of health issues in life, happiness issues, and financial issues as well. And I've written a book called Are You Worth It? A Spiritual Guide to Managing Your Money Mindset, because things just didn't add up. Things just were going wrong in my life. And what I've done is I've kept working on my mindset, kept working on my energy. So actually, and looking at the different aspects within my life and seeing, well, how can I be happier? So the premise with the cards is that you actually, if there is a card out of balance, as your energy is out of balance, you actually read a paragraph from the book about that, so you get a bit more of a cognitive shift, and then you rebalance the card by putting both hands over heart and rebalancing. And I'll show you just at the end of this about what that looks like to balance yourself. So when we're talking about balance in general, what does that mean? Well, balance basically means that often we have so many things going tits up in our life that our life feels totally out of balance. If I just show you that in a visual form, and you can get the assessment from startofhappiness.com if you want to do the assessment. This is called a Wheel of Life. And basically, you want to be 10 out of 10 happy in all of these areas, but you can see this person is very out of balance on different aspects. In fact, the one they're most out of balance on is romance. So, and often, somebody who's single actually will have a bit of a struggle, because we're social creatures. We like to be with somebody else. Okay, and if you're not if you believe you need to have that other person to be happy, you're always looking outside of yourself for happiness. Okay, and that goes with anything about happiness. So if you're looking for that you're saying, I'll be happy when I've got my divorce, I'll be happy when I've got a new boyfriend, I'll be happy when I've got my new life. But actually, happiness is in the moment, and it's about learning how to get that happiness vibration up so you actually feel better. Holistic therapies have changed my life, have changed how I interact with people, they've changed how I communicate with people, they've put me on my life purpose as well. And I love working with individuals around training them in holistic therapies. And there's several I do, not just the balance procedure that I train people in Reiki, for example, neurolinguistic programming. But it's also about understanding how their mind's working with their energy. And it's so important to understand that, especially when you've got a mental health issue. When I wrote my book, Are You Worth It? A Spiritual Guide to Managing Your Money Mindset in 2015, I was actually very depressed. But I was determined, when I almost took my life in 2014, because my husband had left, I'd had a miscarriage, debt was spiralling, had gone up to £38,000 worth of debt. It was absolutely pants at that time. I'm single. And I just made a decision that I was going to pass on the knowledge that I'd learned as part of learning about holistic therapies, learning about energy and mindset techniques, and keep using those techniques on myself, but also start sharing about them with other people and telling other people about them, because within this country they're not really used enough, or if they are used, they're used secretly or as a last resort, and they shouldn't be. They are massively powerful. And your spiritual side, about who you are, everybody is spiritual, yet often people don't realize that, but when you're in a mental health situation, your whole spiritual side is coming out going, look at me, this is what's going on. You to understand who you are. And it's about understanding how the mind's working, what's going on within you at that time. And you often need guidance as well. I didn't know I was a psychic medium. In fact, everybody is, but I didn't know that's what I was. And it was a bit of like, what's this all about? Understanding about spirituality, understanding about if I was grounded on altar, if I was too off with the fairies, and etc. Okay. And I have a strong belief of angels now. I'm an angelic Reiki practitioner, and that's all part and parcel of who I am. And allowing people to say, well, actually, if you don't believe in angels, that's fine. I didn't used to, but ultimately, it is about looking at what can help you with your mental health, and what is cost effective to use as well, and not have to wait so long for support. Now, within my book, I created a love game, okay, which is a visual representation of what the balance procedure is actually doing. So you want to be on this line of things, which is a learner in your life rather than a blamer. When you're a blamer, you'll end up with an unhappy heart. And this is not just working on your mental health, this is your physical health as well, and emotional health. So if often people say, I'm brokenhearted. You won't want to feel brokenhearted, actually, because that will affect your happiness, okay? And will affect your health, more importantly. So whenever you're thinking something negative, you want to always be going, what can I learn from this? How can I change that thought to be a learner of your life instead? And that allows you to feel more love for yourself, okay? And often when you have a mental health issue, you don't have love at all, which was why things like self-harm, etc. can all come out at that point. So when we are feeling stressed, we will have that fight or flight response. We want to have the feeling calm and happy all the time. Okay, and that's about having that balance all the way through, then happiness. But the way the mind works is in the here and now is where we want to be, the power of now. And then we're, with our mind, creating how we want things to be. But in reality, because we haven't let go of stuff that's happened in the past, our mind is actually ping-ponging backwards and forwards. It ping-pongs into the future of anxiety and goes back into trauma. And we go back into past life stuff as well. So your mind is you won't be feeling settled because it's ping-ponging backwards and forwards. Often people say, I haven't got enough time because they can feel like they're sped up as well, especially when you're overthinking and you end up with a mind that is full, okay? And what you need to be doing is actually using techniques to be releasing that negativity out of you so you feel a lot better. What the balance procedure does, by actually balancing your energy every day, as soon as you balance the cards on your heart chakra, which is here, you will find that it will literally put you into the here and now, right now. Okay. The premise also with the balance procedure is that it wants you to live your life at I'm going to show you those. They're top level emotions. Okay. So we want to be up here with joy, freedom, love, appreciation. It's back to front of you there, isn't it? But passion, knowledge, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, positive expectation, beliefs, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. Isn't that fantastic? Except we then have other emotions that are going on. We might have boredom or pessimism or frustration, impatience, irritation, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. They're all the really low emotions, okay? And when you've got a mental health issue, you're being pulled into that emotionally, okay? When your mind is in fight or flight, you'll find that actually you'll find life a little more challenging, and you will have various different things going on. So you'll have behavioural changes. You'll maybe feel a bit more argumentative. You might become more withdrawn, disconnected from other people. You might lose creativity. You might work longer and harder. I know I certainly did. You may achieve less, may procrastinate. That's a sure sign that there's trauma there. A desire to run away, and the extreme desire to run away is actually suicide. The physical changes you might notice in yourself are feeling tired all the time, sleep problems, aches and pains, indigestion, hyperventilating, muscle tension, low sex drive. And often quite a lot of those things are menopause symptoms or andropause. But they're all sortable out issues if you use holistic therapies, and will then therefore have an effect on your mental health so you feel a lot happier. Because the mental health issues of the fight or flight response are anxiety, depression, fear of rejection, insecurity, confusion and forgetfulness, phobias and hypochondria. I'm a strong believer, having been through the whole depression route, and I'm not going back there, I can assure you, it is about repressed emotions. That if you've not dealt with things which have gone on in your life, then it's time to deal with it. But as the balance procedure is a non-verbal technique that you can be using, it means you don't have to talk about it, which is part of the problem for people, okay? Which is why they put off seeing somebody, or by the time they finally get to see somebody, or by the time they got to know that therapist, they no longer have the counts because they only got 6 sessions, for example. This is a self-empowerment tool for you to be using. So let me just show you what it looks like to do the balance procedure. So all you do every day is that we have our energy source that's going through our body, okay, that links into our aura, or it's our electromagnetic field that is around us, that if you look at heartmath.org, you'll find there's information there about it. Ultimately, we want our body to go forwards. Our energy always wants to go forwards. It's us going forwards in life, okay? But what can happen with somebody is actually your energy can be going backwards. Your energy can be stuck, like you're stuck in life. You might be going around in circles, okay? Some people go left, some people go right, and that's where the mind is, because your body can actually tell you these things if you get in tune with it, okay? So if I was to ask myself a question like, and this is just to get in touch with your intuition, okay? Is my name David? No. So I'm going backwards on that. Is my name Fred? No. Is my name Liz? Oh yes, my name is Liz, okay? Now you can do that with any question in life. If you want to ask something, you can use it, but you have to start trusting it. Part of the problem with anxiety is we're not trusting the information, we're not trusting the process and flow of life, okay? So when we're making decisions from our head, that actually should be from our gut often. Our gut is about courage, our heart is about compassion, our head is about creativity. But what happens is that we get out of sync, okay? And there is a breathing technique that goes with the balance procedure to allow your left and your right brain to come together, but also it links your head, heart and gut together very quickly, okay? And without having to think about it, so you can't overthink it, okay? So the cards work on different aspects. So we've got the art of co-creation, the art of knowing, the art of independence, the art of infinite unity, the art of clarity, the art of communication, the art of transformation, the art of visualization, and the art of love. So depending on what, if we go back to the chart here, the cards here are actually featuring to work into different things which are going on in a person's life within these different segments. So for example, if a person can't find the love of their life, it may be that the art of love is actually out of balance. So by being put into balance again and saying, well, you really need to understand what love is. Now, would you agree that you wouldn't want to be with somebody who is really negative? It wouldn't, float your boat if you're meeting somebody going, well, that person's so negative. They're just talking about their health the whole time. They're really, talking about what's going on in the news. It's depressing me. They're not really that attractive, okay? What we want you to be is really attractive to the universe, to really be high energy, to be happy, okay? Happy and positive. So by using the cards and actually noticing if you're negative, they will actually bring that emotion up. And people often say to me, oh, you look so different. You feel different. And it is because I'm different, because I've released the negativity that was in me. There was a lot of layers of negativity within me, okay? And I'm much, much happier. So the way that we use the cards is purely, I just put it over my heart and I say, I'm a free spirit, I'm imaginative. So that's telling me that I'm in tune with that, that's in flow. I'm intuitive and psychic, I'm inquisitive. I am powerful, I'm successful. I am the avatar. I'm authentic, I'm spiritual. I'm creative, I'm a pioneer. I'm an alchemist, I'm wealthy and generous. I'm a visionary, I'm flexible and passionate. I am love, I'm inspiring. Now I did balance myself this morning, so I am in balance. That's showing that my energy is flowing forward. So all I do is put both hands over heart, breathe in through my nose, positivity, out through my mouth, negativity, and say the word balance. So my body is now in flow. I'm in flow. So I'm feeling really calm and happy, actually, because it gives you such a good feeling. But it's very challenging to show that to somebody when they're part of it. But hopefully you can see from my energy, because they feel like, woohoo, very different just by doing. They are very, very powerful energy system to be using, and very cost effective compared to a lot of different therapies. And I've paid a lot of money over the years for different things. So the premise is that you balance yourselves every day, and that's a natural way of shifting your energy every day, because it's also linking into planetary changes, moon cycles, all that sort of stuff as well, which will also be affecting you. So on a full moon, you should be letting go any negative thinking. On a new moon, setting new intentions, and it will work alongside that as well. But this is very much that you're creating everything from your imagination. So it's important to be using the cards through the day as well. When you notice that your mood is maybe going down, that you just zap yourself as well. So you're releasing anything that's going on. You can also use the cards to do intentions with. So for example, if you were wanting to get more money into your life, for example, you would use the I'm an alchemist, I'm wealthy and generous card. And all you would do is you'd put that on top of the cards and just imagine how you want things to be. And it needs to be an image in your mind about what that would represent. So it might be a certain amount of money that you're wanting to pay for a bill, or there might be a particular thing that you're wanting to manifest physically, of a bill to pay, whatever it is, but you need to have seen it as if it's actually happened for you. And the more that you work with your mind in that way, your mind just, says, I don't know if that's real or not. I'm just like, yes, okay, that's fine. And through the law of attraction, which is one of the universal laws of life, ask for what you want. So wanting a new car, believe it's possible. I think, okay, well, why couldn't I have a new car? And you need to you will then receive it, but you have to take inspired action. So when you need the car, you go, right, okay, what do I need to do? I need to have researched the car. I need to know what sort of car it is. I need to know where we're going to get the finance from. All those sort of things you need to take action. If there's somebody you need to ring to get that permission from, or to borrow the money from, or whatever it is, you need to take that action to allow that thing to manifest for you. From a law of attraction perspective, you always want to be emotionally high. That to get the best things in life, it's about emotionally being well, which is what the balance procedure will support you on and will help you feel so much better. So I think that's enough really right now about it. But if you do have any queries, then it's liz@insightfulminds.co.uk if you want to learn more about the balance procedure of just buying the cards and the book, or if you want to do the training, then please do get in touch. Liz, I'm the Mindset Shifter.